This week on Unscripted, we talk about the real reason that Roman Reigns had that scathing, in quotation mark, promo on Brock Lesnar. We have the possibility of Fox gaining the rights to WWE and how serious those are coming too. We have WWE's concern over the WrestleMania 34 main event, and much, much more this week on Unscripted. I'll see you guys after the theme. What is going on, everybody? It is the Fonz, and we are back again for this week's Unscripted, where we have so much to talk about. Talk about the Roman Reigns scandal that could be or could not be, as well as much, much more, especially with the fact that the news, breaking news, the sort of what breaking news, which is turning out to be more a false flag instead of real news of Rey Mysterio's return, and much more. But first thing we're going to talk about is it pretty much hit the day after the Elimination Chamber. A Raw superstar finally takes down Rusev Day from the top spot in Shop WWE. As you all know, when Rusev Day shirt first came out 2 months ago, it just was the highest selling product in the company, along with a couple other things that they brought out. But yet, WWE doesn't see a reason to book Rusev Day. They give you this Rusev Day shirt. They have a calendar that just came out. And yet, Rusev is not featured on SmackDown, except for to be a heel still. WWE are so hypocritical with this shit, because you have Roman Reigns that they're pushing. They're pushing to be the top guy, and the guy's not even in the top three. The top three merchandise sellers are two guys. Rusev and this superstar who had a shirt debut at the Elimination Chamber, and that guy is Elias. The Rusev Day t-shirt has finally fallen from the top spot of the selling t-shirts on WWEshop.com. At least for now, the tee has consistently been the most popular shirt on the site since becoming available late last year. It is now at 3 behind Elias World Tour t-shirt and at number 2, and the Elias Walk with Elias shirt pictured, which was the shirt that debuted at the Elimination Chamber, which has WWE in red lettering and says "Walk with Elias" with a picture of Elias playing his guitar on the front of it. Yet these two right here are probably, it's like you have Elias showing, "Hey, I'm selling merchandise. Why isn't he getting a big huge push?" Will we see him make it to WrestleMania as a champ and win a championship off of this? Probably not. If your name isn't Roman fucking Reigns, you're not getting anything. Rusev is number 3 on this shirt sales. And WWE likes to point out that has said that if you're going to sell merchandise for us, then we should invest our time into you, which they do not. Elias, gets a little bit of time. He gets to do his shtick on TV where he sits there, talks down to the crowd, gets natural heat that other people like Jinder Mahal doesn't get. The Jinder Mahal heat that he gets is X-Pac or go away heat. If you want actual a heel that gets real heat, go look at Elias, because that guy puts on. He goes out there, he does his shtick with the guitar, he gives you a performance, talks down on the crowd, and then of course gets the heat that he needs. So, will this shirt selling, these two shirts being the two most popular shirts at this time, help Elias? Hopefully so. Maybe he'll go to WrestleMania. Maybe he'll be put in this triple threat, maybe fatal 4-way match to determine the Intercontinental Champion. And maybe they'll put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, give him the win, and actually push him because of that Andre the Giant documentary that's coming out in April, which will be next month, 2 days after WrestleMania. Which, word as it is, unless things change, they want to make the Andre Battle Royal more prominent this year. There is word going around that they might cancel the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal this year, which I have two things on that, for a Mae Young Battle Royal for the women because WWE wants to shove the women down our throats. But the two reasons I think about that is, one, that is stupid as fuck because Mae Young had nothing to do with WrestleMania. Like, the whole reason the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal was made is because of his impact on WrestleMania from 1, 2, and 3, well, mostly 3. Mae Young had nothing to do with WrestleMania. Yes, she was used during the tail end of the Attitude Era, but let's forget about that. And two, do you really think WWE wants to scrap the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal the same year that they're having this Andre the Giant documentary that they're having 2 days after WrestleMania? Oh, we don't want to capitalize on that. We're just going to scrap this and give you a Mae Young Battle Royal. How stupid does that sound? If they want to capitalize on the Andre the Giant documentary coming out next month, you gotta have this Battle Royal. Put it on the actual show, not the pre-show. Oh, but Road Dogg says the pre-show is actually the show. No, it's not. Ask the Usos, who had that awesome promo this past Tuesday talking about they have never been on the actual card. They've only been on the pre-show. Ask that to Neville and Austin Aries from WrestleMania last year. Go look at the WrestleMania 33 DVD. Do you actually get the pre-show do you actually get the title match that those two had on that DVD? Hell no. You can't find the pre-show unless you go to the WWE Network. So don't tell me that it's not that the pre-show is just like the other show, like the rest of the main show. So if they want to take advantage of this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which has been nothing but a joke half the time anyway. I mean, yes, you had Cesaro, Big Show, Baron Corbin, and then Mojo Rawley win it, but what is that like when they win the Battle Royal? Nothing happens. I mean, yes, Cesaro is a tag team champion now multiple times, and yes, Baron Corbin's a former United States champion and Money in the Bank winner. But the time that they won it, nothing has come out of it. Big Show won it. Mojo Rawley won it last year and hasn't done a damn thing. So for them to say, oh well, we want to do this and this, they got it. If they want to take full advantage of this, they have to have the person win it and then do something like get a championship match at Backlash. The winner of this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal gets since they're going to dual branded pay-per-views, it doesn't matter who wins it. You win this match, you go to Backlash for doesn't even have to be the WWE Championship, just a championship match at Backlash, either the United States, WWE, Universal Championship, or US title, whichever one you want to go with. But that is that. This is just coming off of what we talked about last week on Unscripted, which was the Kairi Sane controversy, where people were chanting happy ending at Kairi Sane, and remember Pearl Harbor at the Pirate Princess, which was uncalled for. There was another fan shouting derogatory comments at a knockout for Impact Wrestling, or a quote-unquote knockout, because she's still technically being shown on TV because her time on the show hasn't been gone all the way through, and she has gone. That person I'm talking about is Chelsea Green, aka Laura Villaness, known on the independent circuit by her real name Chelsea Green, was recently involved in an altercation at an indie show with a fan. Green was competing at the PWA Canada event when spectators reported that a fan was yelling derogatory comments at her, including yelling at her to take it off. Green later confronted the fan at a concession stand. The person then got in her face and threatened her, stating that he will call the Hells Angel Biker Club, and also said that he was going to punch her. After having the confrontation, Green walked away from the fan and turned around and quickly gave him a few more expressions as seen in a video that they showed. According to a fan account, the man walking out of the building after getting embarrassed by Green. Wade Bushwell Twitter account, I am Chelsea Green, made a loser fan cry, leave and call his mommy. Tonight at the PWA Canada, if he had any respect for women, he wouldn't run his mouth. Fuck that guy. Respect women. I agree. Wade continues, the guy told her to take it all off, basically calling her a stripper, threatened her, then said he would call the Hells Angels, got right in her face like he was going to punch her. He ran out of the building like an embarrassed little kid, looked like he was crying. Chelsea Green added, my job and my character does not give any man an excuse to call me names or make chauvinistic comments. Ethan Page, and fellow indie wrestler, puts his 2 cents in because he's coming to her defense. Ethan Page, known in Impact Wrestling as Joseph Park's brother Chandler, Yeah, another park because you needed that. Also chimed in on the incident, stating that it was the most un-Canadian thing happened in Canada. Despite this incident, Green is still thanked PWA for having her and stated she can't wait to come back to her. On television, Green, as Lauren Van Ness, is currently feuding with Ali over the Knockouts Championship. She is scheduled to defend the title against Ali at the upcoming Impact Wrestling episode. This match was taped in January, as Green is no longer with the company. Okay, so we talked about this, and I said something about this with the Kairi Sane thing. You have every right when you go to a wrestling event to cheer, chant, and bring a sign, as long as it's not derogatory, to the event. But show some respect, you stupid idiots. If you're going to sit there and tell this woman who is working her tail off to entertain you to take it off and you're a stripper, oh, you want to come in my face? Dude, she could probably whip your ass, tear your arm out, and make you cry even more than you did. So I'm glad she actually stood up to the guy and made him feel like a little bitch, because that's all he is. Go to these events. Be respectful for the athletes that are in the ring for your entertainment. These men and women go into these wrestling matches, put their bodies on the line. They don't deserve that shit. I don't care who it is. You might not like them. You might think whatever. You don't sit there. You don't need to sit there and do that. Wrestling. There is no place in wrestling at this time for shit like that. So just grow the hell up, and I hope he gets banned from that arena, because that was just not necessary. I'm glad she was able to stand up and at least make him feel like a total loser, because that's exactly what he is. So good on Chelsea Green, aka Laura Van Ness, for making this guy feel like a bitch, because that's all he really is. Moving on here. Original plans for Brock Lesnar this past Monday on Raw. As anyone does know, Brock Lesnar was advertised for the last umpteen months and the night before, and 30 minutes up until Roman Reigns was coming out, that it was going to be a standoff between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. He's been advertised at this event for months. And lo and behold, it did not happen, and they had this little promo by Roman Reigns, which was a pretty good promo, but I will get into what was really behind it, and what the original plans were. PW Insider is reporting Brock Lesnar's absence on Raw last night this past Monday was a late change, as early as drafts in the late night script. Script originally called for a lengthy segment with Roman. According to the reports, the segment was written in the second hour of Raw, and it would have several seen Lesnar call Reigns a bitch. Because calling each other a bitch back and forth really just shows how tough they are. Several sources noted neither Brock or Paul Heyman was spotted at any point backstage. That is a lie, as Paul Heyman was seen with Ronda Rousey at some time during the night, or he was taking pictures with Ronda Rousey. So that is a total lie. But it's not unusual to see Brock as he always has a private dressing room. It was noted that Heyman's absence might be more of a note, as he's usually very social with other talents. But it doesn't look like either one of them was at the venue. As I said already, there were pictures of him with Ronda Rousey of that night, so he was around. He probably got sent home because of what they wanted to do different. Several theories are being speculated on PW Insider regarding Brock's absence, including Brock chose not to attend Raw as part of the negotiation tactics. Wrong. Brock was told not to attend after Dana White posted a photo of them too. Wrong. Work storyline attempt to get Roman Reigns over with the fans. Ding ding ding, we have a winner. Of all the things, of all three of those that I just named, what do you guys think? Did Brock stand up Vince McMahon and become a total dick because he doesn't want to work? And this is funny because the night after, I swear the day after this stuff happened on Monday Night Raw, What Culture Wrestling, which has fallen far from grace, which has fallen far from what they had back when you had Adam Pacitti, Adam Lampier, Jack, and King Ross there, and all those other guys, jumped on the bandwagon and was like, well, Brock Lesnar must have not came to WWE, came to Monday Night Raw because he wants more money from WWE, and this and that. And I'm like, you guys are jumping the gun. Then, of course, the very next day or the day after that, they're like, well, we just, it looks like it was part of the story and everything. It's like, no fucking really. How stupid could you be? You just jumped like that. immediately, just trying to get those views because you ain't got as many viewership as you used to when you had the good guys there. Anyway, how pathetic WWE has gotten. Brock Lesnar was advertised. Brock Lesnar was probably on his way to Monday Night Raw, because I guarantee you the reaction that you heard from the crowd when Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman was in the Elimination Chamber by themselves. It was just these two, and you saw Braun Strowman get in the middle of the ring, and Roman was getting between the ropes in the ring. The boos, you could just hear the boos for Roman, because everyone knew that Roman was going to win this match after everything that they did for Braun Strowman. He got hit by an AA, a revolutionary knee, a blackout curb stomp, a coup de grace, 3 spears overall, and it took him that much for him to get knocked down. But he didn't get knocked out by the 4-man powerbomb. 2 spears, which are probably not even, especially Roman spears. Roman spears are just fucking awful in my opinion. 3 spears were more powerful than, well, the last 2 spears were more powerful than everything else that happened in that sequence when he got hit with a 4-man powerbomb, a attitude adjustment, a blackout moving and a revolutionary knee, and a coup de grace. Give me a fucking break. So the WWE is doing everything they can to get this guy over. Look at WrestleMania 31. Did anyone remember Roman Reigns even being in that main event, even though it was a pretty good match? Anyone remember anything other than Seth Rollins cashing in the Money in the Bank the first time ever at WrestleMania during the first time ever during a match? Does anybody else remember that? Anything else other than that? Hell no. Let's fast forward. That's failure number 1. That's failure number 1. Failure number 2. Let's fast forward to WrestleMania 32. He faces Triple H and beats him for the WWE Championship. The only thing memorable about that title reign was Roman Reigns got suspended for 30 days. Lost the title to Seth Rollins, who then lost the title to Dean Ambrose, who took the title to SmackDown. That's the only thing memorable about that title reign, even though he wrestled AJ Styles twice. Those were okay matches. They weren't the best matches in the world, but that's all you remember. Other than that, he beat Triple H for the title. Did that bring him to superstardom? Did that bring him to the most over guy in the company? Fuck no. It was the main event. Now, fast forward 2017. You have Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 33. You have Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. Roman Reigns in one of the worst matches of Undertaker's career. You have Roman Reigns beat him with not 1, not 2, but 3-ish spears. I think it was like 3 or 4 spears overall. Did that make Roman Reigns the most over guy in the company? Fuck no. He comes out the next night on Monday Night Raw and he gets booed heavily. 3 failures. WrestleMania 31, 32, 33, all 3 failures. Do you really think this is going to be any different? We are going to WrestleMania. Does Vince McMahon even know what fucking event's coming up? WrestleMania for the last, I don't know how long. I don't know, because I wasn't watching WWE back in 2000 and 2001. I'm going over those right now on the WWE Network when you could actually have the lights up and the entire crowd was there. But I'm in like 2000. The crowd back then would still probably boo the shit out of Roman Reigns because he's so manufactured. Why do people love Stone Cold Steve Austin? Why does Stone Cold Steve Austin, Daniel Bryan, Hulk Hogan when he's not in the good graces? Why do those 3 men get a reaction that Roman Reigns wishes he could fucking get? Because people can gravitate to them. Hulk Hogan in the 80s was a superhero. My opinion, I didn't like Hulk Hogan at all when I was a kid. I'm 27 years old, so he was on his tail end of the Hulkamania the first time around when I was born. So I loved Hollywood Hogan. Hulk Hogan just isn't. But for people my dad's age, Hogan was a big hero. He oozed charisma. He was the first to ooze the charisma. He had that charisma and that ability to look like a superhero. Does Roman Reigns have that? No, they try to manufacture that. Oh, Brock Lesnar doesn't care about the WWE Universe. Oh, Brock Lesnar doesn't care about the WWE. Oh, Brock Lesnar only cares about his money. What the fuck are you, like, what the fuck, tell me something I don't know, Roman, because I know Brock Lesnar doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. He doesn't care about anything but his contract and how much money he's making. That's old news. You're not really doing anything, you're not fighting for anything that anyone hasn't fought for. Why do people love Stone Cold Steve Austin? Give me this one. Let's see. Redneck, who had to fight up against his boss, whose boss tried to keep him down, and who had to go up against the authority figure of his generation, and that related to everybody. People hated, like, there's people out there who hate their boss, who are drugged down by their boss, or kept down by their boss. So people could relate to Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was a normal dude. He was not a big, but heck, Stone Cold Steve Austin even admits he wasn't the best in shape guy when he was in his day and age. He didn't have a six-pack ab. He barely had any muscle as it is. But everyone could gravitate to him because he felt naturally real. He felt like one of us common men and women. He didn't have to. He wasn't the corporate manufactured shill that is Roman Reigns. Look at Daniel Bryan. Same thing as Stone Cold. He was and still is a modern day, to a degree, Stone Cold Steve Austin when it comes to against the authority. Triple H, Vince McMahon, Stephanie, and all them tried to keep him down. They rehashed the Stone Cold Steve Austin storyline with Vince and Vince and Stone Cold with Daniel Bryan and the Authority, and it worked because it felt real. Daniel Bryan is not the biggest guy in the world, and they called him a B+ player. We all know he's an A+. There's all the best wrestlers in the world today who could probably still wrestle if they were allowed to. Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Ricochet, in my opinion, he's going to be up there eventually. Johnny Gargano, Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, Tetsuya Naito, and many, many more like that. Daniel Bryan was pretty much put under the thumb of the Authority, who wanted him the hell down. What is Roman Reigns fighting for? Who is Roman Reigns who can gravitate to Roman Reigns? He's a jacked up, manufactured, boring superstar who hasn't evolved one iota. Look at Seth Rollins. Look at Dean Ambrose. They were the Shield. Roman Reigns was in their shadow. He was the third wheel he was the Marty Jannetty, in my opinion. He is the Marty Jannetty of the fucking Shield. Plain and simple. They're trying to take, and no one else I've heard this say this yet. WWE is trying to take a Marty Jannetty of the Shield, the Marty Jannetty of the Shield, and make him a superstar. And it's not working. I have not heard JD say this. I have not heard Solomon say this. I have not heard anyone say this. Yes, I'm not trying to say he's like Marty Jannetty, where he's not as talented as the others, but he's not as talented as the other two. Seth Rollins is right now one of the best in WWE, especially on Monday Night Raw. He is the best besides Samoa Joe. Dean Ambrose, he has a little bit of rockiness because of how they booked him a little bit, but he's still a hard worker. The guy wrestled more matches in 2016 or 2017 than anybody else on WWE television. These two are the workhorses. These two are the guys who should be vying for the Universal title at WrestleMania if Dean Ambrose wasn't hurt. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Universal title at WrestleMania would be a far better match than Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And also, another thing that pisses the fans off, Braun Strowman is a backup, and we're going to talk about this later. There is internal problems in WWE and VIA with the Jonny Bravo case that we will get to later. But Braun Strowman has been built up as this 7-foot+ monster who can just rip through everybody. He's like a younger Big Show, but in the athleticism of the young Big Show before he put his weight on. And this guy is actually a little bit better than Big Show. I'm just saying and in their careers at the time that they are. But this guy has been built up to be a badass monster, and every single time they should pull the trigger and throw this guy a bone, they yank the bone away from him. And it pisses fans off. They know he should be the one going to WrestleMania, and a lot of fans are hoping that this Johnny Bravo stuff, which we'll get to in a second, is real and true, and after his first suspension, because then WWE would have to go to Braun Strowman, because if Brock Lesnar says WrestleMania 34 is my last match for now, I'm done for now, I'm going to go back to UFC for a couple years, maybe I'll come back, then Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, and Braun Strowman wins the US Universal title if they have to go to that. Or they'll put him in this, or they'll try and get this guy in the triple threat match, even though I don't want another triple threat match, because nobody wants to see Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns just because of how poorly WWE has booked the guy. Let's see, 2014, you break the Shield up. Okay, I was a little shocked about that. I think everybody was shocked. And I was shocked, but I was less shocked because I saw it come in 2.5 seconds before he hit Roman Reigns in the back. So, yeah. You have Dean Ambrose go off, jeans, t-shirts, new music, new entrance, video graphic and everything. Seth Rollins, new tights, new shirt thing for new entrance shirt for sometimes if he's not wearing a new t-shirt of his. He has new music. I mean, they had the burn it down thing, and new video graphics. Roman Reigns, Restyle Live Shield to Roman Reigns, same music. Same attire with a little bit of a redesign. Tell me why Roman Reigns has not... This is 4 years ago, by the way. 4 years ago. That he has not changed a bit. He has been the same guy who was in the Shield. He's the same guy now. Why else are fans? Fans are bored, sick, and tired of Roman Reigns. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. WWE has dropped the ball with Roman Reigns. So, yes, the whole reason that Roman Reigns came out there and put out the quote-unquote, in quotation marks, shoot promo, that was all scripted. WWE, and here's another thing, it wouldn't have been put on, if WWE did not want it to be, this stuff to be said, it wouldn't have been on YouTube, and they wouldn't have let him say it past a certain point. This was all scripted. WWE does not let anything they don't want to be said on TV. Roman Reigns has a lot to worry about. And this is why. Document alleging Roman Reigns' connection to Richard Rodriguez to be released soon. YouTube channel Heal by Nature has released the above video, a video alleging alleged connection between Roman Reigns and jailed steroid dealer Richard Rodriguez. The video features an exclusive comment from filmmaker Jonny Bravo, who is set to release a documentary detailing the allegations and purportedly present evidence to back up claims that there was a connection between Reigns, other WWE superstars, and Richard Rodriguez. And by the way, this is not just... And WWE should be shaking their boots not for Roman Reigns only, but half of their roster. Because it did say this last week there's at least 15. So I'm going to say less than... I think it's probably 14 more. 15 current and 15 former WWE superstars on this list. Jinder Mahal, Billy Gunn, I see on there because Billy Gunn did get fired from WWE for PED failure in a weightlifting competition he was in. So those two I could see in there. Jinder Mahal definitely. Jinder Mahal, Roman Reigns, and I'm not sure who else. Bravo says, hi, video should be out shortly, just filming the last parts now and then it's getting reviewed by my attorneys. I'm going to have to hide after this video. Most people don't understand that I'm just investigating what someone else states. It's a tough job. This evidence here is a major concern for WWE. Dave Meltzer indicated on this week's Wrestling Observer radio show that Braun Strowman was pulled from the WrestleMania 34 singles match with the Intercontinental Champion The Miz due to the concerns over Roman Reigns versus Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. And this also was funny because this is also something like What Culture Wrestling, and I think Pro Wrestling Unlimited added in the Brock Lesnar not showing up on Monday Night Raw because these people don't realize that it was just WWE trying to get more tears for Reigns as a reason why they did it. But, I continue, Strowman was reportedly pulled from the singles match with The Miz, but because officials felt that it was important to have a sort of backup plan for the main event, Reigns versus Lesnar, in case damaging evidence against Reigns may come out of the investigation that filmmaker John Bravo is doing. We noted how Reigns was implicated in steroids ring by jailed steroid dealer Victor Rodriguez, along with actors Mark Wahlberg and Josh Duhamel. We're just going to forget about them. Who cares? Because I don't think Hollywood has a policy against people taking PEDs to help with their acting. So I honestly don't care what Josh Duhamel and Mark Wahlberg did, because not a big deal to me. Reigns has denied any accusation, but Bravo noted Wednesday that his report on WWE is complete and that he has evidence on a former WWE legend placing more than $140,000 in orders with Wellness Fitness Nutrition, which was Rodriguez's company, which was ran by Rodriguez. Bravo noted that the report will contain evidence on Reigns and other former and current WWE superstars. Bravo says his findings will be released soon. No one yet on what might be planned for Strowman at WrestleMania, but it could be some sort of throwaway match. Meltzer also speculated that Braun could end up facing Elias or Samoa Joe if he's able to return. WWE could always add Strowman to Reigns vs. Lesnar match to make it a triple threat, but we haven't heard no rumors on that direction. So, yes, WWE should be shaking in their boots. This Richard Rodriguez seems to be pointing at Roman Reigns more than anything. Yes. If Roman Reigns has been caught by WWE multiple times since his suspension for a PED violation, you know damn well they're trying to do their best to hide those suspensions. Which means if this comes out, WWE will have no choice but to suspend Roman Reigns. Because and this is another thing, Roman Reigns has denied he knows nobody by the name of Richard Rodriguez or WFN or anything to do with the steroid dealings. If this stuff comes out and it's true, and it shows Roman Reigns after July of 2016 was still ordering PEDs and receiving prescription drugs for HGH, Roman Reigns is fucked. Roman Reigns will never be able to be trusted in WWE again. He might not even be found. They might just end the Shield thing completely and put this guy down in the mid card working as a jobber. He will not be allowed. They will not trust him ever again. Anybody who's in there, and he said, and he told them, hey, I don't know anything about this. I didn't do any of this stuff. I don't know what they're talking about. He is 100% done. WWE will have this. This will pretty much kill Roman Reigns' career if this is true. Probably not as much as it's like people are pointing out to the whole Randy Orton thing about Randy Orton, how he got suspended, got part of that. What was it that right after Chris Benoit's murders? Yes, murders. Not gonna go there, but after the murders of Chris Benoit and his family, that drug ring got busted with 15 or so WWE superstars, and Randy Orton was one of them, but he didn't get suspended. I think he got suspended from house shows, but he was still on TV. So they amended the wellness policy to make it so that if you have 2 strikes and if you do a couple services for them or something, whatever, or you have good behavior, one of the strikes can be removed. And the problem is Roman Reigns only has 1 strike, so he can't fall under that unless they gave him a quote-unquote suspension, but they didn't reveal it because they don't want to lose their golden boy, who will not be their golden boy if this happens. And they will have to suspend him. Why? Because they are a publicly traded company, and if they do not suspend Roman Reigns and they try their best to push, throw it under the bridge, their shareholders will not be happy about that, and that's losing money. And Vince McMahon does not like to lose money if he doesn't have to. So WWE has a lot to worry about, because this is going to, if this stuff comes out and it's anybody on the main roster besides Roman Reigns who are already booked for WrestleMania, or they already have penned in for WrestleMania, WrestleMania 34 might be one of the weirdest WrestleManias we've ever seen, because Roman will be fucked and whoever else will be there is going to be screwed. So the last 5.5 weeks till WrestleMania is going to be a roller coaster of a ride. If anybody who is in a big play right now could be, well, I think we're still, I believe, and if anyone's on a 1-strike deal right now, we could see a lot of guys being suspended right now if this comes out this week. and still be able to make WrestleMania, but they won't be able. They'll probably be jobbed out to somebody else just to punish them, because you don't just get suspended, you get punished on TV by getting jobbed out. So WrestleMania 34 could be one hell of a shitstorm mess as we go. Moving on here, we have one of the weirdest stories, and it's probably a fake story as to why it is being out. It is for everybody to pretty much move away from what is going to be the actual match for John Cena at WrestleMania. But apparently, from Justin Barrasso, it's not The Undertaker anymore, it's Rey Mysterio, who is reportedly working on a match at WrestleMania. Justin Barrasso is reporting Rey Mysterio is working on a WWE return, and it is more of a major WrestleMania 34 match. According to Barrasso, Mysterio was at backstage at SmackDown's television taping to work on potential plans for a WrestleMania match, and the movement opponent being floated around right now is none other than John Cena. Mysterio made a surprise appearance at this year's Royal Rumble match, and it has been since speculated he would return to a part-time capacity in WWE. PW Insider has a new report looking at, they know about the current discussion going on between Rey Mysterio and WWE. And no, he was not at SmackDown this past Tuesday. There was a house show at San Jose for the SmackDown brand, or I don't know why Kalisto was there, but he had a picture of him with Kalisto that he put out a day later to make you think, because the 205 Live crew is also there the same night as SmackDown, that he was there at SmackDown. So even Rey Mysterio is helping WWE along to play up the fact that he was at SmackDown when he really wasn't. Mysterio has been in ongoing conversation about a WWE turn ever since his surprise appearance at the Royal Rumble, which was the best moment of the Royal Rumble for surprise returns, even though they had all the women from the Attitude Era coming back, minus, of course, Vicky Guerrero. They had the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era women come back, for a lot of them, to make the Royal Rumble for the first one be a celebration of all women's wrestling, which received a strong reaction. Triple H, not Vince McMahon, Triple H, which has been happening. Chris Jericho, in a couple of returns a couple years ago, also said that Triple H was the guy he talked to be able to make his return. Rob Van Dam, too, when he made his return. Triple H usually talks to the talent now more than Vince McMahon when it comes to making a surprise return. All the legends and stuff like that. Triple H is the one, reportedly the man handling negotiations between the two sides. PW Insider cannot confirm that the return of Mysterio would lead to a match between Mysterio and John Cena at WrestleMania. As reported by Justin Barrasso with Sports Illustrated, PW Insider is refuting Barrasso's report that Rey Mysterio was backstage live at this past Tuesday SmackDown. Previous talks between Mysterio and WWE did not work out because Mysterio is not looking to work a full-time schedule, nor should he. Mysterio's been in the business for long enough that he should get a part-time schedule, not in the vein of a Brock Lesnar, more of a Chris Jericho, where he works maybe from the night after WrestleMania until, I'd say, like 3 months later, 3 months off, he can go off and do other things. Come back for Survivor Series, be a Survivor Series program up until the Royal Rumble, or even make a return at the Royal Rumble and go up to WrestleMania and do other stuff. At least be there off and on. He doesn't even have to work house shows as long as he's there on the main shows. Of course, Mysterio is scheduled to face Jushin Thunder Liger at New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Style Evolve show in Long Beach next month. But if he were to sign a WWE deal with WWE, he would preclude him from taking many more than New Japan bookings. Which, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure the Strong Style Evolve show is the only one he's going to work, because Strong Style Evolve is going to be in California. He's not actually going to Japan for this match. So, speaking of this supposedly match that's supposed to be happening, it is being reported that John Cena would have been the one behind this if the Undertaker match wasn't happening. He requested Rey Mysterio or Samoa Joe. This is also part of this thing. Barrasso was the first to report this, but it has been confirmed that WWE is just feeding this. They want this story out here. Why do they want this story out here? So the night after Fastlane, or even at Fastlane, or the night after Fastlane, or 2 nights after Fastlane, when John Cena comes out and talks about how he failed to win the WWE Championship Because let's be honest, he's not winning at Fastlane. WWE booked themselves into this, that the only place that John Cena will win his 17th championship, it's the only place that makes sense, is a WrestleMania. Vince McMahon, up until a couple months ago, wanted this WrestleMania to be it. Doesn't work for me. It didn't work at all. I could see them doing this match for the WWE Championship or Universal Championship being at WrestleMania 35. Just maybe, I don't know, it's like 25, 30, 35, 40, you know, something like that. As seen on Monday Night Raw this week, John Cena teased a match against The Undertaker. Cena said that he was looking for a path to WrestleMania and has issued a challenge to The Undertaker, but WWE officials told him that it's impossible to make the match. I have figured out, this is what John Cena said, I figured out that I need to stay here in this ring and do something that I should have done a long time ago. And that is to put on a WrestleMania challenge to The Undertaker. I bet John Cena, you know. Then he exclaimed to a huge pop for the crowd, "You want WrestleMania? That is WrestleMania! And that match is not happening. I don't make the matches. As obvious this seems, I've been told that this match is not happening because that match, once again, is impossible." It seemed unlikely that WWE would have the match mentioned on live television only for it not to happen. However, as we just talked about, Justin Barrasso at Sports Illustrated on Wednesday reported that Cena will be facing Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania after it was ruled that Undertaker will not be working the show. It was added that Mysterio was backstage at SmackDown Live on Tuesday and is reportedly finalizing a deal with the WWE at the end event this past Monday in San Diego at the end of the week. Mysterio was backstage at the SmackDown Live event this past Monday in San Diego and posted a photo after the show with Sin Cara, not Kalisto, my bad. So yeah, he wasn't at SmackDown. He posted the picture with him and Sin Cara, which, where has Sin Cara been? I don't know. He should go to Raw and be called a 205 Live, whatever. But that was put out on Tuesday to make it you guys and everyone who doesn't know feel like he was there when he wasn't. Dave Meltzer reported in the latest issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that the plan for WrestleMania is still Cena vs. The Undertaker as of this past Monday night. He noted that he hasn't heard of any changes in plans since, and that the only thing that would prevent the match would be Taker pulling out of the show for some reason, like getting injured during training. It was noted that Cena's promo was to defer attention from the Dream match until after he works the SmackDown Fastlane pay-per-view. Which, I'll get to that in a second. Cena appeared on SmackDown Live on Tuesday night and defeated AJ Styles in a non-title match to earn a spot in the main event of Fastlane on Sunday, March 11th. That is in a week and a half. Cena, Styles, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler will compete in the six-pack challenge for the WWE Championship. As for Rey Mysterio, Meltzer noted that he has no deal with WWE, but has a meeting with Triple H scheduled very soon, as he is reportedly dependent on Triple H clearing his schedule, as he is not looking to work full-time. There are also some other details that need to be ironed out, like opportunities outside of wrestling for Mysterio. So, Barrasso was fed this Mysterio story that Mysterio was there Tuesday, and he is going to wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania. Now, with the way they've been booking John Cena, him being desperate to get to WrestleMania, that if he doesn't get to WrestleMania, this will be the first time, other than the time he was injured, he wouldn't have a path to WrestleMania. Well, another thing, if Undertaker does not somehow, for whatever reason, make this WrestleMania, which he will, but if he doesn't, this would be the first, and probably like last time we'd have to worry about this, the first time Undertaker doesn't wrestle at WrestleMania since WrestleMania 2018, years ago. So it's going to be John Cena versus The Undertaker. They're going to wait till Fastlane. You don't want people to be sitting there being like, "Whoa, why is John Cena going for the WWE Championship when he's going to be facing The Undertaker?" That's why they did that. Even though they didn't have to do anything, they could have just been like, they didn't have to have John Cena come out and be like, "Oh, I challenged The Undertaker." They could have just been like, "I have an idea, and it's not going to be here on Raw. I'm going to SmackDown." If they didn't want the match with The Undertaker like being talked about at all, they could have left it at that. John Cena could have again came out and been like, "I'm out of options. I don't know what to do." This desperate John Cena is the best I think they've done for John Cena in a while when it comes to booking him. It would be a total letdown in my opinion if John Cena was to lose at Fastlane, and then his consolation prize is Rey Mysterio. So you had him fail, point out that he failed at the Royal Rumble, he failed at the Elimination Chamber, he fails at Fastlane, but he gets Rey Mysterio. Now that is not a WrestleMania worthy match. Maybe SummerSlam if a title was on the line. Maybe WrestleMania if it was a title on the line. Maybe SummerSlam non-title. But WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio versus John Cena, just willy-nilly, 4 weeks, 4 weeks or so before WrestleMania. No. That's not WrestleMania worthy whatsoever. Not WrestleMania worthy at all. Unless Rey Mysterio or John Cena was going into WrestleMania as the champion, and the other one either won the Elimination Chamber or won the Royal Rumble to set these two off to a path to face at WrestleMania, this match is not WrestleMania worthy whatsoever. So, unless something happens in the next few weeks, because we still have 5.5 weeks till WrestleMania, and The Undertaker gets injured, heavily injured, with something, which, if he has some kind of hip injury or he ends up getting a knee injury, I don't care if it's a minor ankle injury. If he's injured at all and he's not in his full 100% that he can be, Undertaker should not wrestle at WrestleMania. If he does make WrestleMania, this would be 18 years in a row, and of course being he only missed 2 WrestleManias his entire career. But I honestly don't want to see the match. I have no reason to see the match. The match is 4 years too late. When he said that, before he said it's not happening, which it is, I was like, it's 4 years too late, I don't care. So, we'll talk about this more when it develops a little bit more. But of course, we have to wait till Fastlane, which will be next Sunday. Speaking of WrestleMania, the plans for WrestleMania, and we are getting for The Miz, is coming more and more clear. I'm hoping this is not as true as it says. This is from Sports Illustrated, Justin Barrasso, so this could just be a feed into the match, being fed to him, so they don't know exactly what's going to happen. But he is reporting current plans call for The Miz to defend the Intercontinental Championship in a fatal 5-way ladder match. Oh my God. According to the reports, Miz will defend against Elias, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Braun Strowman. Now if this is true, this match will probably not be finalized until after the Jonny Bravo stuff happens. Because if WWE books Miz, Balor, Seth Rollins, Elias, and Braun Strowman in this match, and then the Jonny Bravo stuff comes out, and it sees Roman Reigns lying, and Roman Reigns actually being caught receiving steroids, still to this day, or recently until WFN fell, then Roman Reigns is screwed. Braun Strowman will be in the Universal Championship match. I don't know how they're going to do that. Will they have Braun Strowman come out and challenge Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns and him will battle, and he'll beat Roman Reigns. I don't know how they'll do that. But right now, they're talking about how it's Elias, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Braun Strowman will challenge The Miz for the Intercontinental title in a fatal 5-way. It was previously been rumored that Miz would defend in a singles match at WrestleMania, and this week's episode of Raw saw both Rollins and Balor emerge as potential opponents for The Miz in New Orleans. Which, in my opinion, I would not be mad about if it was just a triple threat, just a normal triple threat match. We don't need no ladders. These guys had the best main event for Monday Night Raw. Until I believe it was Braun Strowman, not Braun Strowman, but Bray Wyatt, who came out and hit a Sister Abigail on Finn Balor to set up a terrible, awful feud between those two that brought the stock of Finn Balor from here all the way down to he's just building his stock back from that feud, by the way. So we'll have to wait and see how this one for Miz comes out. Until after we hear what's going on with the Jonny Bravo case, I will have more on that as it comes. Right now, there has been no news. I expect that to be coming out late next week sometime. So we'll probably have talking about that next week, if not the week before that, week after that. All I know is WWE is going to be in a pickle if anything that comes out about this is 100% true, and it's after for Roman Reigns and really others after, well, if it's for Roman Reigns after what happened after his last suspension, and for others to see who gets screwed and how bad WrestleMania will be affected. Speaking of Braun Strowman, how does WWE view Braun? Dave Meltzer shed some light on the booking the men's Elimination Chamber match in the storyline further futures of the men involved in the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Newsletter. The Elimination Chamber was booked in a way where Roman would win, but Braun would look as strong as possible by eliminating everyone but Roman, because they do it for Roman. They do everything for Roman to make Roman look strong. Did Roman Reigns look strong coming out of the Elimination Chamber, eliminating a guy who just eliminated 5 other men? No, not at all. It did not make him look strong at all. What did it make Roman Reigns look like? It made it look like Roman Reigns beat a guy who just went through a 30-minute gauntlet against 5 other guys, eliminated all the other guys, and didn't have, tired out. It looked like Roman Reigns beat a guy who was tired as hell after having a hell of a match. That's what it looked like. It didn't look like he beat a giant who just started fresh. Had it been something like that, maybe. But no, it did not make Roman Reigns look any better than he did coming into the match. It made Roman Reigns look worse than it did before the match. Also notice that WWE limited the effectiveness of both in the process. No, they didn't. No, that is wrong. Dave Meltzer will have to disagree with that. He limited the effectiveness of both men in the process. He limited the effectiveness of Roman Reigns. Braun Strowman looked like a badass who got fucking wore out and got beat. You could have somebody run a marathon and tire themselves out or get in a fight with somebody. You fight, if you have 6 guys brawling and one just sits back while the other guys beat the hell out of each other, and the one guy left standing who just knocked out everybody else out, the guy who's fresher, can come in, punch, knock out, and that's it. That's what it was like. That's how it's like. You have 6 guys battling it out, fighting, beating the hell out of each other. One guy sits back for a second and doesn't do as much. The other 3 beat the hell out of each other till they're all wore down. The guy who's standing left out of the other 4, then the other 4 who already knocked the other. Yeah, okay, we're doing 7. Okay, yeah, you have 7 guys fighting the hell out of each other. Excuse me, and one of the guys just sits back and watches these 6 guys beat the hell out of each other. One guy who is the bigger of the guys beats the living hell out of the other guys, knocks them all out. The guy who sat back comes over and just knocks him out with a couple punches and hits him with a spear. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty much it. Does it make Roman Reigns look good? Hell no. Does it make Roman Reigns look badass? Hell no. Does it help Roman Reigns? No, nope, and no. Did it help Braun Strowman to go through and look like that? Yes, but no, because he got beat with a spear. It kind of didn't help either one of them in the end, but you hurt Roman Reigns more than you hurt Braun Strowman. Strowman is apparently the ideal version of a pro wrestler in Vince McMahon's eyes. Strowman's combination of size as well as his ability to do WWE style comedy effectively is something that Roman Reigns has never been able to do well and never will be able to do well. Yet you're putting Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania instead of Braun Strowman, who could have just went into the Elimination Chamber, beat all 6 guys, eliminated all 6 guys, and would have looked like a badass that he is. What the hell were you thinking, Vince? Strowman has also noticeably improved as an in-ring worker and now has the crowd behind him. He has the crowd in the palm of his hands in a good way. He plays up to the crowd. I power slam somebody. You want me to power slam again? Okay. Oh, you want another one? Okay. You want a 3rd one? Oh, 4th one? Okay. He can play the crowd the right way. Roman Reigns will not ever be able to do that because Roman sucks. Roman Reigns might be an adequate guy in the ring, but that's it. He has no mic skills. He has a charisma vacuum. The guy can't talk half the time. Yes, his promo this past Monday was great. Better than usual. I mean, the 2 promos that he has is this past Monday and the night after WrestleMania 33. You know what the common theme of that was? He was in the ring by himself. Go look at his promos with John Cena. How much did he falter? How much did he look like a fucking buffoon? How much did John Cena make him look like a chump? Roman Reigns is not that good on the mic. What are we going to have? Roman Reigns just sit out there and talk and cut promos by himself? Anytime he's with anybody else, he looks Bush League. He looks like a Bush League promo. He is terrible when it comes to promos with anybody in the ring. He has to sit there and resort to, well, you ain't none but a bitch. Oh, you a punk-ass bitch. You're a bitch, punk ass bitch, punk ass bitch. That is Roman Reigns right there. Oh, I'm a great wrestler. I'm the guy. I'm the big dog. You're nothing but a bitch. You're a punk ass bitch. That is Roman Reigns to a T. And of course, the last thing he says about Brock Lesnar is like, I don't I don't respect that bitch. That's all you got, Roman. Calling people a bitch, or calling him a punk, or a punk ass bitch, only gets you far a certain way. John Cena made you look like a punk. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose always make you look like a punk. Paul Heyman, I can't wait till 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from this past Monday, when Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman will be there, because they're going to be there. And if Vince McMahon does stupid does and has Roman Reigns be there by himself again and tells Brock Lesnar we don't need you, he's an idiot because it won't work. Paul Heyman is going to show you and expose Roman Reigns, if you haven't seen it already, how bad of a promo Roman Reigns really is. WWE could have to change direction and gone with Brock versus Braun at WrestleMania, which we've already seen twice at No Mercy, where Braun Strowman should have won the Universal Championship, or this past January at the Royal Rumble, where Braun Strowman should have won the Universal Championship there. But they chose to stay the course. WWE has been protecting Lesnar's F5, so what it means more when Reigns kicks out at WrestleMania. In what fucking way? Brock Lesnar faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. How many F5s did it take? 3. Brock Lesnar faced Triple H, I believe, a couple months ago, like at WrestleMania a couple years ago. It didn't take 1 F5 to beat Triple H. I think Triple H lost that match. Oh wait, no, didn't Triple H win at WrestleMania? No, he lost at WrestleMania. He didn't win the cage match a couple months later or so. This F5, like, protecting the F5 and protecting the spear, yes, it should be nice because it is, like, there aren't multiple kickouts or finishers. Like, the attitude adjustment used to be, you hit one, you're done. The RKO, you hit one, you're done. Most of the times that's still the case, but there are, like, big matches. It's like RKO, kick out, RKO, kick out. Tombstone power driver, let's kick out of 3 or 4 tombstone power drivers. It's not going to mean a damn thing. It's too predictable. He's going to kick out of this. He's going to hit. And this is the thing that's going to piss so many people off. When Roman Reigns gets hit with the F5 and kicks out, then he hits one spear, and Brock Lesnar gets beat 1, 2, 3. Do you really think, like, does Vince McMahon? I want to see Vince McMahon's reaction. I want someone to put a camera on Vince McMahon's face in gorilla position when this shit of a fucking match goes on, and at the conclusion, when the F5 is kicked out of, and the fans are booing the fuck out of Roman Reigns, and when he hits one spear, and he beats Brock Lesnar with the shittiest spear since Edge. Sorry, Adam Copeland, aka Edge, you had a terrible spear, but I respect you anyway. But when you see him hit Brock Lesnar with one spear that other people use as a normal move, that women and like mid-card talent use spears all the time. It's just like the super kick. It's not as effective. You don't see guys going around hitting the F5 as non-specials. You don't see people hitting the attitude adjustment, which is just a jumping Death Valley driver. But it's not going to be what they think it's going to be. It's going to be a total bust. And I want to see Vince McMahon's reaction when he has his boy, and I guarantee you, Kevin Dunn and like Mr. I'm hitting the button. I got the crowd down. You can't hear those boos. I'll be watching YouTube after my review of WrestleMania 34. I'll be watching like when those videos go up, when people who were there, you hear the boos. You hear the boos because you know that Vince McMahon's going to have those boos muffed down to where you don't hear. And then we come to Monday Night Raw the next night. They're going to replay that, and you won't hear boos. You'll hear cheers. Just like when Roman Reigns won the Elimination Chamber. If you go back and watch it live, which I'm pretty sure they edited too, but if you watch that show live, you heard boos until Kevin Dunn turned them down. So Kevin Dunn pulled hit whatever he has to hit in production to make sure we couldn't hear the boos on live, but you could hear them. When Roman Reigns wins that championship, I guarantee you the next night on Monday Night Raw, they're going to replay that video 3, 4, 5 fucking times. And you're going to hear cheers, even though they're going to be the most disingenuous fucking cheers you'll ever hear. Because Vince McMahon wants you to believe that Roman Reigns is loved. It's not Roman's fault. It's not. It's not Roman's fault. Why is Roman in the position that he's in? Because of his name. Joe Onawale. Joe Onawale. His middle name is, he's actually Joe. Roman Reigns is in his position because of his family. He wanted to be a football player in the NFL. He wanted to be a football player, and he failed at that. He comes into the family business, the Onawale family business that's seen The Rock, Rikishi, the Usos, who have way more talent and have way more charisma than he ever has. They have him come in. He goes to the Performance Center. Vince McMahon gets one look at him and is like, that's the guy. That's my new John Cena, God damn it. We are going to put him on a rocket ship to the top. John Cena, love him or hate him, actually had to go down to OVW. And I don't know how long he was down there, but the dude actually had to earn his spot. He comes up, does the Ruthless Aggression thing, where he goes up against Kurt Angle. And he actually was loved. There was actually a time. Go back to WrestleMania 21. Go back to WrestleMania 20, where he faces the Big Show, and he puts the Big Show in the Attitude Adjustment. Quite comfortably looking, too. But he has that dude up. And he hits that Attitude it was the FU at the time, making fun of the F5, but they can't say FU anymore because of the PG era. But he had him up in the Attitude Adjustment. And the crowd, and he pins the Big Show for the United States Championship. And the crowd goes wild. John Cena was loved for 4 years, I believe. Maybe 3, maybe 2, I'm not sure. But this guy actually had a time when he was loved because he was actually out there busting his ass. He actually had to earn his spot. He didn't just get shoved into a 3-man group called The Shield with two guys who were 10 times the talent that he is. This dude comes in. This dude is giving every fucking thing handed to him. He wasn't in the Performance Center for very long. He was in the Performance Center for maybe 2-3 months, and then he was on the main roster with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, journeymen who went to all like Ring of Honor for Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins, or Combat Zone Wrestling for Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, and other places. This guy has one look. Vince McMahon has one look at him and is like, that's my guy. And he has been tried over and over and over. 4 years. And he's going to try and do it again this year. And it's going to fail. So instead of doing the proper thing, and here's the thing. A coronation, Roman Reigns doesn't need a coronation. He's had his coronation. It failed. You know what you do? He's well known. Everyone knows who Roman Reigns is. He doesn't need a coronation. This was better off for Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, who has been built as this unstoppable force, who has to go through everything, has been just pretty much given every fucking thing he can except for a championship. Why is this guy not in the Universal title picture? You know that Vince McMahon tries to stick to his guns, but when the fans turn on his champion, his handpicked guy, like we are going to at WrestleMania, it doesn't matter where it's at. It could be in Philadelphia, it could be in Ohio, it could be in Russia for all I fucking care. It could be in Canada. It doesn't matter. People from the smart marks from all over the world come for WrestleMania. Do you really think those are not the casual fans? These aren't the casual fans who are going to be at WrestleMania. These are the hardcore fans who don't give a rat's ass about Roman Reigns. Who do you think is going to be booed? Who do you think is going to be the babyface going into this match at WrestleMania? Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns can come out for the next 6 weeks and tell us all the truths that we already fucking know as fans about Brock Lesnar. And Vince McMahon, I hate to tell you, but you have made some major mistakes. You need to just relinquish your spot as the CEO. Give the power of creativity to Triple H, because 205 Live, damn better than it used to be. NXT, best brand they got. Raw and SmackDown, drizzling, shit, and nobody gives a shit. So he can do whatever he wants and I hope you know, Vince McMahon, that WrestleMania has not had a great conclusion since Daniel Bryan won the world title at WrestleMania 30. 31? Okay, I guess 31 was okay, but it wasn't as great as it could have been, even though you had that great moment. 32, 33, 33, and have been awful. 34 is going to be the same. If Vince McMahon was smart, even though I know he wants Roman Reigns to be the last thing we see holding the Universal title, you might want to put that in the middle of the show and have AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura close your show. Unless you're going to have John Cena. If anything, they'll have John Cena versus The Undertaker be the final match of the show. Especially if this is going to be 100% the final match of The Undertaker, which I really don't want to see it. But if you're going to end the show with The Undertaker versus John Cena, make it a career versus career match. The loser is done. The winner can continue to wrestle. And of course, John Cena would have to win. I don't know. We will see. Paul Rollins does have a nice buzz around right now. Meltzer says he is only just now starting to thrive as a babyface again. Some similarity. Finn Balor is expected to re-enter the Universal Championship picture at some point, probably later this year, unless he gets moved to SmackDown, but he has been too marginalized recently to be elevated to that level. Whose fault is that? So yeah, that's another one. Seth Rollins. Finn Balor, I don't see him being in the Universal title picture till about SummerSlam, maybe that area. Seth Rollins, yeah, we could see him doing something. Unless they move these guys to SmackDown, which could possibly happen if they do a draft, which will not happen at Backlash. If anyone thinks it's happening at Backlash, that is just dumb. Because you're not going to have like AJ Styles get his rematch against Shinsuke Nakamura, and then AJ Styles has been drafted to Raw, and that match hasn't happened yet. Think, people, think. The Big Show claims he'll be back by Mania. No. Oh God, no. Please, no. The Big Show recently participated in an interview with UPI.com discussing Ronda Rousey's debut for WWE. During the interview, while addressing the huge amount of hype leading into WrestleMania, the following was noted. It may look like on the outside like it's a new thing that WWE is doing, but since I hit the ground running in 1999, that has always been the attitude, onward and upward, said the Big Show, who had hip surgery in September, but said he'll definitely be back by WrestleMania. No. Oh God, hell no, please no. Your time in the spotlight is over, show. We don't need you. If you want to be a backstage agent or whatever, that's fine. I know at your size there's not much you can do in the wrestling business unless you want to go down to NXT and be a coach or something for the bigger guys, because they could probably use someone of your size to help, like a Donovan Dijak, who is supposed to be pretty big, or any of the big guys who are probably coming into the WWE. But as an on-screen performer, no. Just stay away. The Big Show. Neville, haven't heard that name in a while, may be in talks with WWE again and could return post-WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer reports in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which we hear that a lot, that talks between Neville and WWE have opened back up. WWE is apparently eyeing an April return for Neville, which could possibly see him involved in the WWE Cruiserweight picture post-WrestleMania. Neville was unable to get WWE to grant him his release outright, and that has created a bad situation where the company can freeze his contract, which they've done this for Rey Mysterio and others. Before Rey Mysterio was actually released back when he was still a full-time performer, his contract got frozen multiple times so they could extend his contract. So when he came back from injury, he could fulfill their dates. If he is refusing to work, this is the same thing the company did for Daniel Bryan and Rey Mysterio. There you go. When they were under contract and not working, it has allowed them to keep those talents under contract longer than their original deals expired. Will we see Neville back? I don't know. As a cruiserweight, I don't think so. I think he does not want. I'm pretty sure it was talked about He did not want to come back as a cruiserweight. If he was to come back, he would want to go to SmackDown. So he could be in the mid card. He's not going to ever be a Universal WWE champion of any kind. But I could see him, Bobby Roode versus Neville, or Randy Orton as US champ, whichever versus Neville would be nice. Or if Seth Rollins gets put over there, if Seth Rollins was to win the WWE championship over time, I could see him putting on the line against the Neville, maybe Shinsuke Nakamura versus Neville. That would be a damn good match if they gave him 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. So we'll let you know when things get better there. Early betting odds, and this happens with sports too, normal sports too. Early betting odds for the Royal Rumble for next year. Nothing really much here. Odds makers waste no time setting the odds for next year's Royal Rumble. They do this with the Super Bowl, the MLB playoffs, the Stanley Cup Finals, and the NBA Finals. As soon as the championship match is over, game is over, or the series, depending on when the Super Bowl's over or the other one series are over, they always have betting odds for who's going to be the next champion next year. Of course, those shift over the summers or as WWE as over the year. 120 choices have been listed, and the best odds are properly on Braun Strowman, who had a breakout year and is expected to be built up even further leading into 2019. Braun's odds should be taken with a grain of salt, as there have been no reports that WWE has solidified plans for who will pick up a Rumble win next year, which they should not. The only thing they're worrying about right now is WrestleMania. So, I would say probably the night after WrestleMania, not everybody, but somebody, or a small niche group of people will probably figure out what's going to happen next year, so they can be like, okay, we have a focus. This, as we saw this year, since last year, this time actually, and this is what's sad, this time last year, they decided Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title at WrestleMania 34. So they could have a good bit of people like, okay, who's going to challenge who, and when are we going to go? Of course, plans always change due to injury or suspensions if need be, or whatever else. So take it with a grain of salt. It's worth noting Reigns was favored by sportsbooks throughout 2017 to win this past year's Royal Rumble, and ended up flipping in weeks leading into the match in favor of Shinsuke Nakamura, the eventual winner. Perennial contenders next most is Roman Reigns at 350, which will, if they do that, they're stupid, as he usually is a serious candidate to win the Rumble. Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and AJ Styles are all individually favored at 600 and tied for third most favored. Here's a nice little interesting stat about AJ Styles. He has never wrestled at the Royal Rumble where the WWE Championship was not on the line. He was in the Royal Rumble of 2016, which the WWE Championship was on the line, and he has gone into the past two Royal Rumbles defending the WWE Championship. So will AJ Styles go into the next Royal Rumble to continue that streak? We do not know. The top few are Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and of course AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Big Cass, Daniel Bryan, The Undertaker, and so on and so forth. So, it's just like any other thing. You have like the top few teams on any sport that you see, and they will say, oh, well, the person who's in the Super Bowl has the best chance to going back next year, or blah, 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 blah. Same thing here. Now, if Braun Strowman does not win a championship this year at AE, Universal, or WWE, if they send him to SmackDown, which in my opinion they should, because he has nothing else to do on Monday Night Raw, except terrorize the same old. So, would I like to see Braun Strowman win the Royal Rumble next year? Yes. If he does not win a championship this year, giving him a guaranteed shot at WrestleMania 35 would be amazing. But as I stated at the Elimination Chamber or this past Monday, I believe that if WWE is going to give John Cena his 17th win, it will be at WrestleMania 35 via the Royal Rumble, unless they give Braun Strowman the win at the Royal Rumble, and John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber going in, and the winner of the Elimination Chamber goes to face the WWE or Universal Champion, whatever one Braun Strowman doesn't go for. History is on the horizon possibly for Bayley and Sasha Banks, these two making history again. Twitter account WrestleVotes, which has come up a lot lately in a lot of news stories, has shared that the following notion that the history that would be made if Bayley and Sasha Banks square off at WrestleMania this year. If Sasha Banks and Bayley have a singles match at WrestleMania, it will be the first time in major WrestleMania history where two women compete in a standard, no stipulation, non-title, one-on-one match. The last time there was anything close to that, it was a cat fight at WrestleMania 2000 between the Cat and Terry. So, a little bit of history for those two. Something that they probably won't talk about on WWE TV. If this match will happen, and it looks like we're going towards this match with Bayley and Sasha Banks, with Bayley being the babyface and Sasha Banks being the heel, and these two having a grudge match. Maybe somewhere down the line, one wins the championship and they feud over that. But that's nice. That's cool. That's a little cool thing. Fox, and we're going to end this here. We have a lot to talk about here. Fox making a major push to get the WWE on their networks. Fox Sports is reportedly prepared to make a major push to get the WWE TV broadcast rights on and the deal could include airing Raw on Fox broadcast channels. According to the new report by Michael McCarthy of Sporting News, Raw would be featured on Fox, while SmackDown would be aired on Fox Sports 1. It was noted that Fox just won the rights to the NFL Thursday Night Football, good for them, and a deal with WWE would likely mean that the end of the network's relationship with UFC as their contract expires this year. Sources speaking with Sporting News cited WWE and UFC's likely rights fees being another reason for the change. As it was said, both companies are looking for up to $400 million per year. It was noted that Fox would likely pay that money for WWE. UFC currently nets $120 million a year for their current rights. WWE's deal with USA expires on September 30th of next year, so this would not go into effect until next year. And they are currently in an exclusive negotiating period with each other until the spring of, I guess, this year. Maybe next year. It just says the spring. It doesn't say which year. WWE spokeswoman Annie Kruger declined to comment to Sporting News about ongoing negotiations, as she should, as she has no legal right to talk about negotiations. So why you would even ask about ongoing negotiations that are only between USA and the WWE is just stupid for anyone to ask. Besides, noting WWE's U.S. television partner will be announced between May and September. More news on Fox making a push for WWE. A fan asked Dave Meltzer the following on Twitter regarding how the move could affect WWE Raw. Joe V Fox 12 at Joe Fox V12 asked Dave Meltzer any insight on changing Raw time slot. If the move to Fox or is going to 2 hours, affiliate will not be interested in preempting 10 p.m. newscasts. Meltzer responded with the following, noting that Raw would go back to its 2-hour format if it gets moved to Fox. Yes, Raw would be cut to 2 hours if it goes to Fox. Yes, that is interesting. I don't know how I feel about Raw going to Fox. One, it would make it only 2 hours, exactly, from 8 to 10. That's another thing. Raw would only be able to be 8 to 10 because unlike NBC and others, Fox's news is at 10. So Raw and SmackDown would be 8 o'clock both instead of being 8 to, like, if it went to 2 hours, Raw has always been 9 to 11 for majority of its tenure on the USA Network and TNN, aka Spike TV, now the Paramount Network. So we have a lot to look forward to if Fox is going to be able to get WWE. They do say they would skip on the UFC if WWE is to come, which WWE, I don't know how they would take that, but Fox, what are your thoughts on Fox getting the WWE if it was to happen? I'm not sure about this, but it would be like as soon as 10 o'clock hits, WWE is done. Would that be, and that's one thing when it comes to it, would WWE be able to write themselves with no overrun? They do it on SmackDown, but for Raw, it's almost always had an overrun. So I don't know how this would go. It would be interesting because most cable companies now have Fox Sports 1, so it's not like SmackDown before the USA Network days or the Universal days where they were on UPN, CW, My Network TV, where if you didn't have those channels, you were shit out of luck. I don't know what I think about it. Should USA keep Raw? Yeah, but I want them to have little less influence on Raw because the authority, like people do say the Raw going to 3 hours was a USA Network deal. They wanted it to happen. The authority staying on Raw as long as it did, and the fact that it still gets used was more of a USA Network call because they wanted it to be used more emphasis on that. and a bunch of other things. We will have to wait and see, but that is going to be all for you Unscripted. My name is DeFranz. Find me on Twitter at DeFranz. Find me on twitch.tv/DeFranz08, where I'll be on mostly every single day. I'm trying to get my computer back up and running. I will be moving. I'll be moved probably by the time you guys hear this, if not around the time that you guys hear this. But we should be hopefully back business as usual on Sunday. I will be back here for Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live. I will do a double NXT review this week. I had a death in the family recently. Then I had a funeral to go to this past Wednesday, so I wasn't able to do NXT this week. So it'll be a double NXT review for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good afternoon, evening, and night. And if you have any questions on anything you want to ask me, make sure to leave me in the comment section below, or find me on Twitter at DeFranz and at me at DeFranz. TheFrontz. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys later.